Hello. So, I am going to show you a replay of a game, and I'm going to explain the play-by-play of my thinking and my strategy, my tactics, and what actually happened, and to show you some of the frustrations that I have when playing this. So, here's a replay I'm doing. I played against Diego here. So, first of all, first thing I do, I put down archers because they cost one mana. And I don't have any stone statue. I didn't draw any stone statue in my opening hand. And so I have to put something down to get my guys to their other castle. Or to their castle. So, ultimately my Reaper needs to get to their castle to destroy it. And the Reaper moves really slow. So if I can get these guys down that can start covering some distance and get to their castle, then I can put my Reaper further on instead of having to start him at the beginning, start at my castle. And also these guys serve as a good diversion. If they're up there attacking their castle and the opponent doesn't want that to happen, they will use up spells. They will direct their attention to these guys and use up spells that would have been used on my Reaper. So it is good to make them use up stuff too. So I put these guys down, and then depending on what I'm going to draw next, I'm most likely going to put down this Storm Elemental next. That costs 3. He's one I just got finally, and he's a really good diversion because he starts out really weak, so they can take him out really easily, but then he grows to be really strong if you leave him alone. And so he's definitely a hurry and kill him kind of a guy. So it will make them waste their spells on him that they would have used on my Reaper had they had it at the time. So he's a really good diversion as well as the archers. So I'm most likely going to be playing him next. So let's see how this goes. See, I've already selected him. I'm ready to go. I drew skeletons. That costs 2, but I'm thinking I want to get down the Storm Elemental because the more time he has to get bigger, the better. And the more time the earlier I get him out, the less likely that the opponent is going to have something. They're going to have enough mana to play something to take him out before he gets big. So I want to play him as soon as I can and start him at the way beginning of the castle. That way he can have as much time as he needs to get bigger and stronger. And also if they have something like arrows, which they do right there in their hand, my archers are going to be able... They have to wait until my Storm Elemental gets in range of the arrows, and my archers are already doing some damage to their castle in the meantime. And then while they're waiting for the Storm Elemental to go, I'm going to put down my skeletons there, and then hopefully get a protection that I can put on my Reaper while they're being distracted with all of these weak little guys. So I put down my skeletons, just like I had planned to, but they did a shock, which I don't always anticipate someone having a shock because most of the removal spells that can take out my Reaper are like 6 or more mana unless it's arrows, but he has to be up to their castle. But most of the stuff that can take out my Reaper way back away from their castle is 6 or more mana, and we're at max 3 right now, so they can't be doing any of that yet. But shock is one that only costs 2, and that takes out my Reaper too. So I'm glad they used it on my Storm Elemental because they would have definitely used it on my Reaper when I place it down. So that's good. They used up that. And I have my skeletons going, so they're going to provide a good buffer or a good, like a shield, I guess, for when I put my Reaper down. And then I can hopefully put protection on all of my guys. That way they can survive one hit from something. So put them down. I got another Reaper. Okay, that wasn't exactly what I wanted. I would have liked to get another protection. Got a protection by this point. But, deal with what the game gives me. And they played arrows right at the same time that I played my Reaper. But the arrows went slightly first, and so they take out my guys, and my Reaper spawns way at the beginning now because I don't have any guys further up. So he has to go the whole distance. Oh well, so that was unfortunate, but whatever, it's just how it happens. Okay, so still no protection. I have 2 of them in my deck. Still haven't drawn any protection. But I have another Reaper, and I have 2 Blizzards and a Rage. Now, the Rage doesn't really help me too much in this case because they can still take out my Reaper even if you have Rage on him. That doesn't give him any more survivability. The Blizzards will if they put down a guy that they intend to take out my Reaper. I can put down a Blizzard and freeze their guy, and then my Reaper can kill that guy while he's frozen. If a Reaper goes against another guy one-on-one, usually the Reaper will kill them and they'll kill the Reaper. They'll both kill each other. So at this point, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I'm just kind of waiting to see what happens while he slowly moves up the lane. They put down a Dryad up there. So I put down another Reaper, but I spread them out so that if they do have something that can do like a meteor, then they can only hit one of them. And if they have more arrows, they can only hit the one in front. And so I'm waiting to see what I'm drawing next. The guy's scared of my Reapers. And I drew a protection. Yes. So I'm definitely going to play protection on both of my Reapers. Bam. And they played a mana ritual, which is not a good sign, because that means that the next thing they play only costs 3 less mana. But I didn't know they were doing that. I played my Rage as soon as... Here, let me go back. I put on the protection, and I was playing... See, I already have the Rage selected right here. I'm like protection and then Rage to get them moving down faster and get them to their castle to start doing the damage. If they have arrows, if they have anything to do any damage, it will take out their protection, but the Reapers will still be there, and most likely they'll be able to take out the castle with Rage before they can do another thing after that. So I did protection and then Rage immediately, and they put down a Necromancer. Now, Necromancer is the newest legendary card. I was not expecting them to do this, but I wasn't too worried because he's not that strong in himself. He just brings other guys back to life. But if he's dead, it doesn't matter. So I was like, why are they putting this guy in harm's way? These guys my Reapers are going to take him out. And yeah, he has a ranged attack, but they're probably going to get to him and take him out before he can do that. But I was kind of unsure at this point, so I have my Blizzard selected. My plan is Blizzard, freeze their Necromancer, and then both my Reapers will be able to get up to him and take him out, and then continue on to the castle and win the game for me. So he did one attack, and it took out most of that guy's shield. But the thing with the protection, though, is they have to take out the shield all the way before they can start doing any damage to the actual unit, the troop. So I've got my Blizzard selected, and they used a Gust of Wind to save their Necromancer. So, okay. I'm trying to understand their strategy here. So the Necromancer is a unit you do not want to lose. He's not a fighting unit so much as one that gives you a special ability to, in his case, he continually brings guys back to life in the lane that he's in that were killed. For your team. He is not a fighter. He's one that you want to protect. And so they put him in harm's way against guys that can take him out really easily. And then they used a gust of wind, another spell, to save him from the decision that they just made. So their decision was, I want to put my least expendable guy into the most dangerous situation that there is in this match right now, and then use another spell to save him from the situation I just put him in. And I was thinking, okay, you're going to waste your spells like that. I mean, you could have easily put in the Necromancer on that top lane where he's safe, and then you could use a gust of wind and blow my guys back and get the same thing. But, I mean, okay, maybe they want to have their Necromancer in the back, and using a gust of wind blows him back and blows my guys back. I guess that could happen. Okay, maybe they're trying to stall so they can get more guys out in front of the Necromancer. That could work. That could be it. Okay. But I'm running a Reaper rushing deck, obviously. I'm not going to be putting guys in the top lane that could be taking out his Necromancer. I'm going to be focusing on the lane where I have my guys here, so I don't see why they need to worry about blowing him back. So anyway, my plan at this point is, fortunately, the Reaper with the full shield is now in front. See, and the way this game works is whatever guy is in front takes the damage, and you have to kill the guy that's in front before you can start damaging the guy that's in back. And so, luckily, the way that it turned out is my Reaper with the full shield is now in the front. And I have a Blizzard here. So what my plan is, once my Reapers get back within range of the Necromancer, then I'm going to freeze him so that he can't do attacks. They're going to take him out and then continue on and destroy the castle. So here's how that goes. I drew another protection. Okay, this is even better. So, in the event that they take out the shield from the first Reaper in front, then I have another protection that will not only give him a new shield, it will also replenish the shield of the guy in the back. So, and I have 2 Blizzards for in case they put any guys down. So at this point, I don't see how I can lose with all of this in my hand. I have perfect stuff in my hand. And during this game, of course, I couldn't see what they had in their hand. I couldn't see if they had arrows. But still, ideally, I'm putting down Blizzard before the Necromancer can do an attack. Freeze him. They get up there, take him out. They do arrows, let's say, takes out all their protection. I do another protection, and now they have to have 2 more spells in order to win. And the likelihood of that is very slim before I win. So this is looking really good for me at this point. All right, the rage went away. I'm planning on playing my Blizzard right here before the Necromancer gets in range to attack. And so I'm playing it right now, and unfortunately, I mistimed it. I thought that I had timed it right when I was playing it in real time, but at any rate, I got him frozen, and they're going to continue on and take him out. So still working out good. And I have my second protection ready. Now it's selected. So in case they do something to take out the first guy's shield, I can replenish it with this. They played a Mud Elemental. Okay, so I put down my stone statue there to block any guys they put down. Unfortunately, it looks like they got a Mud Elemental right before I played it. Otherwise, he would have been stopped behind the stone statue. But they played him right there. But so the plan here is I had to, while playing it, I had to make a really quick adjustment to my plan, because even though the Necromancer is frozen, the Mud Elemental is not. And so the plan is, when the Mud Elemental hits the Reaper in front, he will take out his shield in one hit, because the Mud Elemental does a lot of damage. So I'm watching the Mud Elemental at this point, and as soon as he takes out the shield in the front Reaper, I am placing my protection down right afterwards. Because in this game, it's not like Magic. See, in Magic, if you had a protection on a guy, let's say, like this shield, and then someone else wants to do 2 spells in a row, that the first one takes out your shield, and the second one kills the guy, and you have another shield in your hand, they can't go like, fireball, fireball, and then your guy is dead. If they try to go, fireball, fireball, your guy's dead, then you can say, well, no, in response to the first fireball, I play protection. And your protection would go on before the second fireball did. Because that's how it is. In this game, it doesn't work. You don't get a chance to say, well, no, in response, I do this before you did it. You have to just do it right then. And so I have my my protection selected. I've got my finger over the lane, and I'm watching the Mud Elemental. I'm waiting. As soon as he attacks and he takes out the shield from that first Reaper, I'm going to play the protection again and restore both of their shields. And that way they'll be able to take out the Mud Elemental and the Necromancer, because they'll just take them all out at once, and then they'll continue on to their castle and destroy them. If need be, I have a standard bearer down there. I can switch lanes if something else happens, to put on a dragon or something, but I'm still looking in good shape. So I'm waiting for the Mud Elemental to attack, take out the first shield, and then I'm going to restore the shield. So we attack, I play the shield, and what just happened there? What just happened there? So what actually happened there, look at this. Look at this nonsense. See, they put down the Mud Elemental, and I'm waiting to play protection as soon as he attacks, right? They're both attacking him while he's attacking them. Bam. Bam. They all did their damage. Cool. Now, I'm ready to play my protection to restore the shield of the first Reaper and the shield or of both Reapers, is basically what I'm doing here. Like my plan was. So there's my protection. It goes down. But wait a minute. What's the situation here? Why is there one Reaper with a full shield before I play my protection? There should be that Reaper there without a shield and the Reaper in back. And then this protection should be going on both of them, giving them a new shield. But instead, there's a Reaper with a full shield by himself. And my protection that I'm playing just restores his full shield, which does absolutely nothing. So what actually happened is the Mud Elemental attacked the guy in the back and killed him. And so my whole plan failed because the game gave me bad information. See, the information the game gave me was that this Reaper here in the front with the full shield was going to take the damage before the guy in the back would. Like, you'd have to go through this Reaper to get to the one behind him. This is like if the game says, this guy has 100 hit points. You see it above his head. And you have a spell in your hand that does 110 damage. And you can only cast one spell. And then you can maybe draw one that does 1,000 damage, let's say. But you don't have it yet. So, do you wait to see if the next one you draw can do 1,000 damage? Or do you just do the one that does 110 damage to the guy that it says has 100 hit points? Well, obviously, you would just do the one that does 110 to take out the guy that has 100 hit points. Only you do it, and then it's like, oh, no, sorry, that only did half his health because he actually had 200. So you're relying on information. You're making decisions on what the game is giving you. And if that ends up being false, how can you make any kind of accurate plans? Or how can you even make a plan and come up with a good, effective strategy if the game's going to be giving you false information? Now, if the game had said here, I'm not going to tell you which guy's going to get hit first, then it's like, okay, I have to guess. It's kind of like a 50-50. And so it would be worth it for me to play my protection and have it not benefit the guy with a full shield just so I could restore the guy in the back in case that was the one that was going to get hit. But no, in this case, the game said this guy is going to get hit first. And that's not what ended up happening. So it threw me off. And it messed up my... I had a perfectly executed or perfectly formed plan given the cards I had in the situation that was here and the information the game was giving me. And I executed it perfectly. And it messed up because the information the game gave me was false. And that is one of the things that really frustrates me when I'm playing this is I do the best that I can do given the situation, given the information, and then it ends up being different from what I expected in this case. And it's not like, oh, I just misread the situation, because I've never had this happen before, where a guy in front isn't the one that took the damage and the guy in back did instead. And so it's just like, if the game's just going to be breaking its own rules, I mean, what do you even do with that? Do you just have to assume that nothing you see on here is going to be accurate? But then how can you make a good plan? See, but at least both of my Reapers attacked him. So at least this one should be able to take him out. One more hit. There goes his protection. And then one more hit, and he's dead, and the Mud Elemental is still alive. He got 4 Reaper hits, and he's still alive. He's small, but he's still alive. No guy should be able to take 4 Reaper hits and survive. I mean, that's just ridiculous. But anyway, there's my whole plan is just gone now. I had a great, perfect plan in the beginning, or halfway through, and if the Mud Elemental had attacked the guy in the back or in the front, like he should have, then the protection I put down would have restored the shield. Both of my Reapers would have killed this Mud Elemental before he could take out their second shield again. They would have continued on to the castle. Maybe this person here probably would have done arrows and taken it out. Maybe they would have played their mage. But at this point, I would have already switched lanes with the standard bearer. So, I mean, I probably still would have won here. It's just frustrating when I lose with these types of situations. Anyway, that's it. I'm not going to show the rest of it because it's just pretty sad of them just putting out guys and beating me and me not having really much else I can do because I didn't draw anything else good. So anyway, yeah, that's what happens with this game sometimes, and it sucks.